So what was it like in that moment of getting that diagnosis? Was it a breath of clarity that you knew what was going on, or was it like, damn, like this?
Yeah, a mixture of both. I would say awesome. Yeah, I have some clarity on what's happening, and it's not just like another scenario of me making it up in my head, so to speak. But it was also like soul crushing in a way, and I was a little bit embarrassed because I'm a nutrition professional, or at least going in that direction, and I feel like in some way, shape, or form, like I contributed to this, and I don't know how I did, but I must have in some way, shape, or form. And so it was a little bit of shame, a little bit of guilt. And I remember like this being kind of one of my last days at U of M. And I remember taking a picture with like my friends and classmates, just around like one of the school buildings. And I remember not telling anybody about it. It was a kind of a soul crushing sort of time. And I didn't really have a ton of support around me. And at the same time, this is the interesting thing too, when you get put on insulin, a lot of things change because your baseline was now like really high. Like my baseline of blood sugar was like 293. Like that was my normal in a sense. And when you take insulin, your blood sugar trends down, right? Well, your body starts to view this 293 as normal. And it starts to view these like lower blood sugars, like these 150s or 180s or 100s as being low. And so constantly throughout these last like couple of days of school, I'm like getting false low blood sugars, they're called. So it's like the symptoms of low blood sugar. It's like shakiness, lightheadedness, dizziness, blurred vision without the actual number supporting that low blood sugar in a sense. So it was like my body was experiencing lows without it actually being a low. And that's very normal if you're getting your blood sugar to trend down. So it's just a lot of mixed emotions happening all at once. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing with dosing this insulin. They didn't really give me a lot of instructions. In fact, like they didn't really give me even the needles that I needed to inject the insulin when I first started. And so I was like having to figure this all out on the fly. And the more that I've talked with people, the more of a normal circumstance that seems to be. It's just like shock and not knowing what to do and not having that type of support. So yeah, it was just a mix of emotions really, and kind of feeling bad for myself at first of like, what did I do to cause this? But I think my parents have always done a good job of like instilling in me of like almost flipping this to a positive and like not ignoring, like almost coping with it and dealing with it in whatever way that you want to, venting, crying, whatever that might be. But also, okay, like understanding like, well, now this is the case, like this is what's occurring, like how can you make the most of it? And that's always been my mindset of like, okay, dealing with it, but also how can I turn this into a positive? And that's one of the first things that I thought about after I was done kind of venting and having that emotional time is how can I make the best of this? So maybe I can help others with this too.